Hey gang, it must be Wednesday. Welcome to another version of Wisdom Wednesday from Austin, Texas and Austin Dental Spa. Hi, I'm Mark Sweeney, the head dentist at Austin Dental Spa and owner. And we're getting close to fall. And what is fall known for? The changing of the colors, mainly of the trees, but as winter gets closer, also the grass and some other things around, it gets a little more dreary. But we're talking about fall, and since we were talking about change of the colors, we started doing a little research on how colors can affect your moods and other things. And so we really focused on three colors: green, red, and blue. And I figured today might be a good day with the changing of the colors to pick this up, because as you know, our theme for the month of September is spiral into fall and into September, actually, specifically spiral into September. It was a little football pun, but then we decided to put a little different spin on it, if you catch that pun. So we're going to talk about colors today. We'll start with green, because I find this very, very interesting stuff, and I've read and heard things about it for many years. Dentists even choosing the color schemes in their office to try to soothe people. And even here in Austin, Texas, for about 20 years ago, they painted the drunk tank downtown pink, like Pepto-Bismol, because they said it had a calming effect on the intoxicated, unexpected prisoners that had to spend the night there. So that it's not painted pink anymore, to my knowledge. I haven't heard anything about that in a long time, but at least they experimented with it. So we're going to talk about green for starters. When you're around the color green, and the researchers have found this is whether you're outside and see lush green all around you. One of my friends is in Colorado, so at lunchtime I tuned in on Facebook. He's got beautiful pictures of snowmass. Everything is bright green. You know, they haven't started the change of fall colors yet, but I hear it's really beautiful there in about another month when the aspens start changing colors. So, and it cools off. But green painted walls can have the same effect. And even people wearing green can affect you. So being around green is generally known to give you a happier mood, to make you feel better about life. So I've heard this from people who have bought a new home, remodeled it, and painted one room dark green, light green, doesn't seem to really matter. That color green tends to just make people feel a little bit happier. If you're around people that are wearing green, or if there's a green wall around, it can make you think that people around you are happier. You pick out the happier people. The problem is you might not pick out somebody who's not so happy, and even the green isn't helping them get there. So there are some downsides, I guess. Green makes positive emotions stronger and negative emotions weaker. I found that very interesting, but that's backed by research. And the color green can help get creative juices flowing. So if you're thinking about, and they compared that in particular study, they compared it to white, gray, red, and blue. And they found that people who were around green were more creative, that they thought more creative thoughts, and that they happened faster so than with the other colors. So that's backed by research. They say that people who are exercising may be less tired and feel happier after the exercise if they're in a room that's green. And come to think of it, I've been in a couple of gyms that were painted predominantly green. Who knew? Last thing that might be helpful for some of you who have migraine headaches, there is research to show that green can actually help relieve some of the pain of headaches or migraine headaches, and decrease the intensity of them too. So it's hard apparently to channel pure green light, but they're doing studies right now with green light on people that are headache sufferers to see if just the green light in itself helps and how much, and if green light plus some other more medicinal remedies can actually decrease the headaches more. So, who knew? But I thought that was interesting stuff. Next, we're going to talk about the color red. It's interesting to me that Christmas is out there in the not too distant future, and green and red are the predominant Christmas colors. But have you ever heard the phrase, I got so mad I was seeing red? Well, there's some scientific background behind that. We're going to get to that in a minute. But if you're around red, apparently research shows that you're more likely to recall negative words, negative things that people have said when you're around red. Red can boost desire. It has a sexual aspect to it. Women find men more attractive if they're wearing red. And most men find a woman wearing anything, any color attractive. But when, the lady in red, there's a song about that, about the lady in red. So it's a physical effect, it doesn't tell whether the person wearing red is actually a nice or attractive person, but they've researched this stuff. The color red can make negative emotions, like those linked to failure and danger, more intense. Wow. When you see red, your reactions may get faster and stronger when you see it because your brain sees it as a sign of danger. Think about the bull and the red cloak that the matador holds to get him to run at. They figured that out hundreds of years ago, if not thousands of years ago, that bulls charge a red drape or a red cloak. I think it's actually the matador's cape that he takes off and uses, but bulls will charge red more readily than they will charge other colors. So could be a positive if you're like doing weight training or something. Could be a negative if you're doing something that requires creativity, strategy, things like that. It might actually be distracting. The color red makes you eat less. Now, this was an interesting research study that they found that the color of your plate can affect how much you eat, not necessarily just red, but scientists found that if the color of the food on the plate is significantly different from the color of the plate, that you're not going to eat as much. And I don't know what the background of that is, but in that same study, they found that people eating fettuccine Alfredo, which is mostly white, on a white plate, ate 30% more because they could, I guess, put more on the plate and it wasn't so obvious. And I'm sure there's that psychological component going on, there's a huge contrast between a plate, like a red plate and white food. It's more obvious if you overserve yourself. So go back for seconds. Don't put a big blob on there. How about the color blue? That's an interesting one. Scientists found that bright blue light can help reset your circadian rhythms. We talked about circadian rhythms back in July, I think, about that's your body's own kind of internal clock as to what's daytime and what's nighttime. And it's controlled by a lot of hormones in your body, particularly melatonin is one of the ways you can help reset circadian rhythm. But it's just kind of in all of us. Some people are night owls, other people are morning people. Those are the ones we open on Thursdays at 7 a.m. for. But studies have shown that you can do a circadian rhythm reset on somebody who's gotten off kilter because maybe they worked the night shift for a couple of weeks and now they're having trouble getting their sleep cycles back because they were blacking out the windows so they could sleep during the day. They're looking at it as ways to treat depression and mood swings with blue light. So it's not a done deal yet, but anyway, I thought that was very interesting stuff. So my health tip of the day, I wanted to segue right into that. Get out and see the green out in the world. Go out for a walk. Go look at pictures of snowmass right now. It is nothing but beautiful green mountains and trees. Be around people that make you feel good. And if you can find them in a green room, that's even better. Watch out for the reds. And if you need to be in a chill mood, find some blue. And so that's my health tip for the week. Hook 'em horns, we almost knocked off Alabama last week, and we've got UT San Antonio this week. It should be an interesting game. So hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next week for another episode of Wisdom Wednesday.